Too, what's going on? This preacher. Yeah, so these high fuel prices, right? Now, I done said this before on some of my past videos. Every trucker that get out here and get their own truck and everything like that. They never managed nothing before in their life. They never managed nothing. They're not used to dealing with numbers. They're not don't know how to budget. Don't know how to do any budget. They try to learn what they learn from different people, listen to different folks. But when people say do your own research, that means do your own research. Okay? You have to do your own research out here. When I got started, even though I have over 18 years of experience in running a business, all right, I still got myself a business consultant and I got myself a business attorney. And I ask questions, got them on retainer. So when I come up to a situation that I don't know or just need more information or a better educated decision, I reach out to them. All right? Because when you're looking at these high fuel prices, you got a big uproar about these high fuel prices. All right? It's never an uproar about high rate costs. Everybody like the high rates. You see them, $5 a mile, $6 a mile, $7 a mile. Everybody is a guru on how to book a load and get these high rates. All right. But soon as these prices get all high and the rates go down, you don't hear nothing about them from them no more, right? They get ghost on you. You don't hear nothing about them no more because it's easy to negotiate high rates when everything else is high. But when stuff is starting to get a little shaky and a little rough, it gets harder to negotiate rates. All right. And then you got people who shut down. Well, I'm just not going to run. I'm going to park my truck until these rates go down. You hear all this and other particular stuff besides people who don't really want to put in the work. Okay. And what I mean by putting in the work, you may have to call 20 brokers before you get that rate that you want. You may have to go to a totally different area outside your norm to get the rate that you want to be able to move your truck. You may have to do that. All right. But you still going to be able to get the rate that you want. The reason why people tell you to know your operating costs, how much it costs you to run your truck. The reason why everybody put all your bills on, all your personal expenses, all your truck expenses, you put everything, how much miles you get per gallon, you put all that into your operating costs and get your cent per mile, right? So if your cent per mile is $1, let's go on the high end, right? Say your cents per mile to operate your truck and pay all your bills, put money inside your maintenance account, put money inside your personal savings account, and to pay all your bills for the month. If it costs you $1.70 to operate and move that truck, if you are getting rates for $2 a mile, that means you got an extra 30 cents per mile that you are getting that you can save towards your business. That's what that means. And if you can't negotiate at least $2 per mile, and we're talking about an average. Every load don't have to be $2 a mile. You can get a load as long as it's past your $1.70, right? So even if you're getting it for $1.70, that's enough money for you to pay all your bills and put money inside your personal savings and your maintenance account and pay all your bills. Long as you get that load for at least $1.70, you are fine. Because that's what you did, the cents per mile, right? That is exactly why you have to know your cents per mile. So with these fuel costs is going up, your rate should go up to run your business. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. You can't look on a load board and see how much they offering. Well, they only offering this. That's not enough. Or I need this. Or you make one or two phone calls. Well, I just can't go with that. And then how many load boards that you are using? I don't care if I got to use 8 different load boards, go every single where. That's the part of you doing business. You got to put in the work to make the dream work. You just can't dream and put in no work and you just hope that your dream's just gonna come true. It does not work like that. Long as you know your cost per mile, and every time the fuel goes up, well, your cost per mile goes up. You add that to your cost per mile. Now let me book another load. It's no longer $1.70. Now it's $1.80. Well, let me make sure I book this load and it's more than $1.80 per mile. Let me make sure I do this. Let me make sure I do that. You know, the people who talk about, well, I'm just not going to do this, I'm not going to do it. You're not running a business. Every business has costs, operating costs. Every business out here have it. And do you think that they just giving up because their cost is going up? No, they're not. They keep going. It just eats into your profit. That's all it does. As long as you make the amount of money that you need to make to pay all your bills and put some stuff up inside your savings, you should be good. It just, your profit just go down a little bit, right? So if you're still getting loads for $2.60 a mile, $2.70, but it still only costs you $1.70 to run your truck, you still is making an extra dollar per mile. Fuel goes up, you go from making an extra dollar per mile to maybe just making an extra 80 cents per mile now. But you still are profiting. That's part of doing business. Everything ain't gonna be hunky-dory all the time. Yeah, fuel prices gonna go up. And then you can blame whoever you wanna blame for it. It doesn't matter. But as long as you start keep pointing fingers at somebody else and just crying about the problem and who's to blame for it, what are you doing to run your business in the meantime? It doesn't matter who you got inside the office. You got one president that had lower stuff, but that was his way of governing. So now he's governing like that, but at the same time, he causing stuff where you got to ride with a gun right next to you because you're going in places where people is attacking truckers. You got riots all over the place, people protesting all over the place. You don't know if somebody gonna come out and jump on you or not. You can't go nowhere without people calling you all types of racist stuff all inside your face. And because you're trying to keep the business mind, you just try to keep it going. But yeah, the fuel costs are low. It don't matter if you making a little money. What if you're not alive to spend that money? What if every time you go out and just because the color of your skin, people is just going crazy on you, inside the truck stop, people coming up behind you, stabbing you with knives and everything like that. All this kind of crazy stuff. You dealing because you got somebody that's inciting violence. Then you got somebody else that's scared, that's doing all this stuff for the environment, that's making its calls, but we don't got no riding. So you got to pick your poison. It doesn't matter. You can get another president up in there. He may be thinking about this or more thinking about that, but you still got to run your business. That's just how it is. All right. You put somebody back in office just because he can lower the fuel costs and everything like that. But if you don't know how economics work, you just going off of stuff and little talking points that you hear on news, and you have no idea how economics work. The president ain't controlling how much oil these private companies is pumping. That don't got nothing to do with the president. Did he stop the pipeline with oil and stuff coming in? Yeah. But you know what? Look, United States, the #1 oil producing company, but they send all their oil to other countries. Why? Because other countries is paying them more than what we would pay to our own companies that work here and pump oil. Instead of crying and complaining about that, you will just want to point fingers at somebody else. You know, for doing it. Did he do it? Yeah, he crazy. Oh, Crazy Joe. That's why they would call it what? Crazy Joe, right? He Crazy Joe. The point is, you always can point fingers at everybody else on why, instead of pointing fingers at yourself and doing what it takes to get this thing done. Working through adversity, wherever it is. It's money to be made out here, yes. And then you talk about truck prices. Is truck prices high? Yeah, truck prices is high. A $35,000, $45,000 truck is costing you $70,000, $80,000. But what happened to the people before that was already buying $70,000, $80,000 trucks? They've been making money. What about the people who was going out buying brand new trucks that was already $150,000, $160,000? They was making it work for their business. So why does it matter if you got to pay a more inflated price on your truck now than you had to do before? That don't have nothing to do with you running your business. That's your cost. That's what you mean operating costs. You putting all that stuff inside your operating costs. You still got to do your cents per mile, no matter how it is, right? You still have to do it. And the same people who was getting these $80,000 trucks before, they was getting them with no warranties, and those trucks are still breaking down. So why does it matter? You still got to put that inside your operating cost of running your business. That's just how it is. You want to save on fuel? Slow down. Okay, I got all these trucks passing me like crazy, blowing my doors off. I mean, the wind about to shake me off the road. Okay, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously you ain't worried about fuel. You doing 74, 75 miles an hour. You can't be worried about fuel, because if you was worried about fuel, you'll slow down. Everybody know if you going anywhere between 62, 64 miles an hour, that's the sweet spot. Okay, and that 64 is pushing it. So if you, at least if you do 65 and below, you are right with it. But no, everybody's in a rush for every single thing. All these owner ops, y'all see them doing these Amazon Prime. What they doing? They flying by. Woof. They just flying. You're like, man, what in the world? Where they going? But see, that's what I mean. You don't want to do what it takes to save on fuel as well. Fuel prices go up, you slow down. That's it. It's the cost of doing business. You just can't look at things and be like, well, hey, these high fuel costs. Yeah, it's high fuel costs. You absolutely right. It's high fuel costs. Negotiate prices better. If you are dependent on the spot market, that's how it is. It goes up and it goes down. You can do all this negotiating all you want to. All right, well, I need more for fuel. They either going to say yes or they're going to say no. If they're going to say no, well, you move on. You move on to the next person. Eventually, you're going to find that one person. Why? Because they need that product there. And once you learn how brokers work, brokers have a certain amount of time before they have to get the load there, right? So they could post a load today. And the reason why they're going to offer so low and not budge on so low, because maybe they got 8 days to get this load there, and today is day one, but it's only a 2-day trip. So they got time to hold on to that load until they find that sucker that's going to take that cheap freight. So that's why they'll tell you no real quick and don't want to budge. And that's why you got to keep looking and keep looking and keep looking. Yeah, I want to go to Indiana today, but hey, there's nothing I can find that's going to take me out to Indiana. Let me change my plan up. Let me try Ohio. Let me see what's going out there to Ohio. You try different things and you just move on. Change your plan. No, some of us is so hard-headed, we set on our ways, we don't want to budge for what we was trying to do. Yeah, I want my Saturdays and Sundays off, but you know what? Okay, I get more money on loads working on pulling load on a Saturday and a Sunday than I would do on a Monday or through Friday. So the loads that I was doing on Fridays that was paying me $750, those same loads that was paying me $750 to go 170 miles is paying me $900 to do this, go to pick up the same place, drop off at the same place. So why wouldn't I want an extra $150 to work on this day instead? So at these times, to deal with these high prices, I'd rather take those loads. Why? Because it's giving me an extra $150. Those two loads, now they gave me an extra $300 going to the same place that I've been going to. I got an extra $300, the same amount of miles. You have to change your business plan. That's why I said when I do declining budgets, because I see where I'm at all the time. I see where I'm at for the miles that I'm running, and I'm averaging this much. And I'm like, okay, cool, whew, I'm averaging pretty good now. All right, I'm able to catch up. You have to take these steps in doing what you do. Are they high fuel prices? Yes, they are high fuel prices, but that's the cost of doing business. When I was a chef, we had to negotiate prices on fish. right? The fish market changes all the time. I used to call all these fish people, hey, give me a price sheet for a week. Give me a price sheet for a week, for the week. And then I have to look at it, all these costs of fish, how much it is per pound. And I'm like, okay, this is the cheapest person. Okay, let me call this in person now, and let me see if I can get him to lower it a lot more on that. And I say, hey, for your rainbow trout, you charging this, but so-and-so rainbow trout is this. Oh, they got this? Yeah, they got this. Well, I can meet like this. Okay, that would work. And I've been negotiating stuff for a long time, man. A long time to negotiate stuff. And you have to put in the work. It's just not gonna get handed to you. You have to put in the work. High fuel prices, yeah. But you go back to them. And just don't go back to them and throw them a number. If you just throwing out numbers, they know you throwing out numbers. They know the number game. You think you know the number game. They got an accounting department that really know numbers. And you just on your little calculator on your phone trying to do all this or listen to what people say. Nah, they got professionals with numbers. So you got to get professional right back with them. All right, and you go right back with them and be like, nah, the cost of fuel is this. This is an extra added cost from these loads that I've been running for you before. For the same amount of miles, it's costing me an extra this. So it's gonna cost me an extra $48 to run the same load that I've been running for you for the last 8 months. I need you to make up that $48 difference. Then they'd be like, well, okay, yeah, we can make up that $48 difference. It's just like $48. Some places was like $100 or $120. And then they're able to do it. If they don't do it, they don't do it. Well, you move on. All right, well, I just can't do this for you. They may try somebody else out, and then that person would drop the ball. As soon as they drop the ball, they're going to call you right back. Yeah, hey, well, it was that price when I talked to you before, but now I got to do it for this. Because I was doing this load for here, and they was giving me this. So I just can't walk away from that for this. Yeah, but I said, well, you should have thought about that when I was giving you a fair market value. And that's how it be. All right? So you complaining about how fuel costs is. Yeah, the fuel costs is high, but negotiate those rates down. All right? And then if your business have to take a loss for a while, it should be able to take a loss for a while. Why? Because you're still paying all your bills and saving money on this end. All right? Your profits is down a little bit. Y'all see it on the stock market. All these people want to play the stock market now inside of trucking. Well, the stock market goes up and down, right? Businesses lose money this month, but they gain money other months. Well, that's the same thing in trucking. Sometimes you may lose some money, all right? But you have to prepare if you're running your business correctly. You're supposed to do that. And you're supposed to foresee things like that and negotiate real rates. Get you some contracts, okay? Build some relationships.